I met Amos in New York when he was having a retrospective, I think at the Modern Museum. And I knew the woman he hired, Ofer Shemesh, as an art director. And she was a client of mine as a designer. And she introduced me to Amos and said Diane should be the costume designer. He had me come to the office, read the script in French in the office, which was very difficult then, 21 years ago. My French wasn't that great. And then he says as a brief, it's anywhere from 300 years before Christ to now. What kind of a brief is that? My job after that, I was kind of not that fascinated by my costume design experiences. And I got a job as assisting a producer at CBC, which is a show called Fashion Files. This is really funny because I never considered myself a journalist. And actually, I still don't even know if I write. All these things are very organic. Everything in my life has been organic. It's never been a strategy. And then I started working for Elle.com, where I was asked to be Dr. Diane and gave like styling advice. And then the editor from Elle.com set up Paris.com. So I did that for like 3.5 years. And during that time, like in February 2005, I set up my blog. And it was the first or the one of 3 fashion blogs. At the same time as I was writing for VogueParis.com, I was writing something called Diane's Diaries for Disciple Films, a small production company, and we shot films. As I started shooting little lo-fi films with this guy, Alex Cherfutinsky, who now lives in Los Angeles. He actually helped me with Final Cut Pro, like to learn how to edit, because I was shooting but I wasn't editing. And if you shoot and you don't edit, it's kind of like masturbation, right? Because it's going nowhere. I called it fashioned out because if you went to cover the collections like New York, London, Paris, Milan, that's not the right order, I would say I'm just fashioned out. I can't look at it any more fashion. So we did this little thing where Alex and our team, we would go out and more record the atmosphere of the shows and sound bites and things. A little bit of the runway, but not very much. And it would end up in the window at Gallery Lafayette. The first day of my shoot, this was really amazing. I went to this guy, Gilles Dufour, who used to be the right hand of Karl Lagerfeld at Chanel for years. So I went to see him and I said, can I do this interview with you and it's going to end up in the window of Gallery Lafayette? And he said, come back at 6 o'clock and I'll do the interview for you with Catherine Deneuve. And it was around my birthday too, so it was like absolutely amazing. And all the people from Gallery Lafayette, they were ready to kiss my feet because they never expected to have Catherine Deneuve in the window. I started my Fashion Film Festival in 2006 actually. But to call it a film festival in 2006 was a bit of an exaggeration. It was more like a curated program. At that point, nobody knew what a fashion film was. Every time you said fashion film, they're like, what is a fashion film? And it's like, a fashion film is like any other film. You have to fill the same criteria, except fashion has to be the protagonist. The name is, it's an offshoot to my blog, which is Shade of Your Own Fashion. And the Shade of Your Own Fashion is just kind of playing on to the fact that I wear sunglasses all the time and the fact that it's my vision of things, my perspective of them. I was talking to Geraldine Gomez at Centre Pompidou about the festival, and she said that they can't really work with festivals that aren't part of their internal organization. But she loved what I was doing so much that she wanted to give me one-day carte blanche, and the date was October 8th, which happens to be my birthday. And now, for the 5th edition of Aswell, which is November 9th, 10th, and 11th at Centre Pompidou, that'll be the 4th time at Centre Pompidou. And it all started just organically, as usual. Well, black, it's my favorite color, obviously, but the wearing only black started when I was a designer, because I used to wear prints and colors and things. And I found as a designer, I didn't want my clothes to be in competition with what I was creating. It's like, if I'm all in black, it's kind of like a blank canvas. I feel comfortable in black. It's my favorite color. I think it's timeless. I think it's elegant. I think it's gives you a certain power, and it's also shaded. Judge it by, like, in 2005, there's this picture of me in the New York Times. It was in Financial Times with the veil, so I think it was around then that I started wearing it. And I just feel comfortable in it. And in order to keep the veil in my head, it's not going to stay on there just by itself.